Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 195 of the TheSixthAxis podcast. As per usual, I am your host, Kris Lipscomb. Joining me this week is the ever-annoying Lewis Gaston. Do your children do that to you at school?
No, they're a bit more mature than me.
You give them a clip round the ear hole?
No, that's because that's illegal.
Yeah, it's not allowed anymore. Modern society.
To bring that back in school.
Capital punishment.
Right, break time. We're going out to hang someone. Derek, if you don't pack it in, it'll be you.
If you mix two terms up there, Kev, or you just very hardline.
I just hate children.
Kev, the child murderer, is here.
Oh, hey, come on, let's not.
Allegedly. Sorry, allegedly.
Alleged.
Oh, I guess execution isn't murder as well.
Exactly. If they deserve it, it's different, isn't it?
It is. It's fancy murder.
It is basically murder.
Murder in a tuxedo.
Yeah. So James Bond, then? It's just It's just
That's
James Bond.
License to kill. Brackets children.
This is a weird start to the show.
Can I say hello? You're going to ask me to say hello?
Yeah, you're right, Kev. Say hello.
Oh, hi.
Finally joining us this week is a man who's formerly of that Pocket Gamer website. It's George Osborn, but not the one from the Treasury.
No,
he's asked me to make that
one
very clear. He's not that one.
No, despite what certain idiots on Twitter think, I'm not that George Osborn. I'd just like to say this is a big shout out to the person who said fix the fucking potholes to me. There's two things that I'd like to say. First of all, I'm not that George Osborn, and second, it's not his job to fix the potholes.
That's not what he does. That's a different department.
You want to talk to your local council about that, if anything.
Exactly. You need to find the appropriate person in your council to deal with road issues. I
mean, unless you want, like, the potholes filled with pound coins, I guess.
Well, maybe red briefcases. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a particularly decadent street in Britain, but...
That'd be great.
George, I just want to apologise, on behalf of everyone here at TSA's podcast, because I was really hoping that we didn't have to bring it up. I mean, sure, it's the first... You go, oh, George Osborn's on a podcast. Oh, I could make a joke about that, but it's probably nothing he hasn't already heard, so let's just not. But apparently, we're not above that.
But we didn't really make a joke. We just made it clear.
Also, don't presume to speak to me. Speak for me.
I'm not presuming to speak to you. I am speaking to you.
No, don't presume to speak for me.
All right, go on.
I think the important thing is it's easier that we all just face this and we all just get through it together.
Elephant in the room. Better to address it head on.
Exactly. It's better to talk about the elephant in the room than to leave it there so it shits all over the place and it's just
no one wants that. There's loads of that stuff comes out.
Exactly. We want to point to the elephant and go, "There's an elephant in the room. Please, can we escort it out?"
That seems like bullying to me. If we're going to point at it and point out its flaws and.
I mean, in its defence,
look how big and unwelcoming the room it is. Is that
so? What you're saying? So what you're saying, George, is that you want to bully, you want to bully listeners and bully things. Is that the type of person you are?
It probably is, to be totally honest. I don't want to deny that. All I really want to say though is just. Yeah, I mean, just that elephant in the room. I mean, he's not going to have his feelings hurt. He's an elephant. He can't understand what we're saying.
He doesn't even have feelings, stupid elephant.
I've seen the planet Earth where the mother has to leave her dying child
that is tragic.
crying.
It's not heartbreaking.
Oh.
Welcome to the TheSixthAxis podcast, where we go from jokes to...
I don't understand this week. This has got weird.
This is fairly typical, I would say.
It's just got weird way quicker than normal. Like, it normally gets weird. I accept that. But we've had child execution and literal elephants in the room within, we're like 4 minutes in. To
be fair, I'm not usually this drunk.
We are on form.
Yeah. I have ingested a lot of drugs this evening. I will say.
That's cool. We're all tripping balls. Let's do that.
Fine.
Right. Step it up. Start injecting them, will you? Come on.
Jesus Christ. Twitter hellos. Joanna says, shut up. Joanna says hello. Jasnam says hello. Tough Cub says hello. Kevling says hello.
Do we get a chance to respond?
No, I'm not giving you any.
Suck the fun out.
Not this week. No, just plowing through.
Thanks for listening, as always. We really appreciate your input. So, cheers.
Right, well, that's it. It's time for the news.
I got that.
News.
News.
Right, first thing this week. First thing first on the realist. Secondly,
Did you just sing Iggy Azalea?
Yeah. I don't know.
Please leave.
Yeah.
Just leave.
I'm impressed. I'm on board with that.
Oh my god.
So, wait, you'll like this news though, Lewis.
Is it? I can't even fucking say it.
It's no longer at Iggy Azalea. Don't worry. Be happy.
Now see that's a song I can get on board.
So what happened this week was Naughty Dog were doing like a streaming thing and that, right?
Yeah.
And then one of the game, I don't know what's his lead writer, Josh Scherer. I'm not sure. Scherer? Scherer. I'm not really not sure how you pronounce that. Said accidentally, all the facial animation in the Uncharted series was led up by Eric here, and on the first Last of Us, not The Last of Us, the first Last of Us. And then there were apparently a lot of embarrassed looks and nervous smiles in the room after that. So
is that a secret though? We all know that they're gonna.
Yeah,
it's one of the best games ever.
It's not a surprise, is it?
Yeah. No one's talked about it. No one's made reference to it.
Does this person still work at Naughty Dog?
One would assume so, because this was like yesterday or the day before.
American companies fire people quickly. That's one of the things in America.
That's true.
If you do something wrong, they shoot you in the head.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that's a different part of America.
And that's lions.
But he is the.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Lions and black people.
But he is the lead writer on Uncharted 4, so. But I guess the writing's probably done. Get rid of him now.
Yeah. Sack him. Out he goes. Off he goes. Usefulness.
It's worth noting.
Get onto the gutter in the curb right there. I said those words the wrong round, but that's fine.
It's worth noting that Nolan North has also said that the game that he was working on a game in the past. Nolan North, the renowned voice actor.
Yeah, we're back to the pronunciation issue.
The guy Kev looks like.
Nope.
He doesn't look like Nolan North. He looks like Drake.
And Drake looks like Nolan North.
Nope.
No.
Me.
What?
Hey?
Huh? Do you say Nolan North looks like you? Not you don't look like Nolan North.
No, I said Drake doesn't look like Nolan North. He looks like me.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Not Drake the rapper. We don't have much in common. Visually.
That's fine.
Obviously, our rapping skills are similar.
Is he a rapper?
I don't even know.
Next bit of news. Fine. I don't want to go anymore. We're just moving on. We're moving on. This week is all about ploughing through.
Actually.
2 bits of VR news for you quickly.
I woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Oh, there's only one side of my bed I can wake up on. The other side's a wall.
Oh, precisely, that would be the wrong side.
The other side's comic.
Yeah.
That's just the sort of mattress.
The PlayStation Morpheus. Remember that?
Got a name, innit?
Yeah, they decided to call it PlayStation VR. Which wasn't really trying, was it?
Pretty boring.
It was on the One Show.
I'm sure it'll be fun.
One Show.
Yeah.
Did you watch
Bradley Walsh was? I watch the One Show all the time. It's fucking brilliant.
Is it?
Is it not just like now we've got Margaret, who's been really involved in the history of iron nails. She's going to be talking all about the history of iron nails.
No.
The format of the One Show is here is a woman who has had a severe family trauma, a horrible medical condition, someone has died, etc., etc. And now we've got Giles Brandreth talking about bread.
Ooh. Yes. And that's what I like about it. You know, you can quickly get over the distress.
Go from heavy to light in a blink of an eye.
Just hard swings.
Yes, it was on the One Show. Bradley Walsh was wearing it, playing that shark diving game.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, the shark diving game is pretty cool, actually.
I mean, the name change doesn't make me less excited for it. I mean, I think that probably people go, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. That's what it is," and then stop thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to hit the nail on the head as well.
Yeah.
It's VR and it's by PlayStation. It's called PlayStation VR. That should be their marketing campaign, I think.
That would be amazing if that was their marketing campaign.
Deal with it.
Done.
Yeah.
The other
bit Sony, if you are listening, I'm free for voice work if you need it.
The other bit of VR news this week was a research firm has suggested that there'll be 30 million VR headsets by 2020. Do we think that's a lot? It seems like a lot.
It's actually, what, in the world?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I was going to say that's like 1 in 2 people in the UK.
Well, that really depends on like how many VR enthusiasts would you say there are in the world?
Probably like a lot.
Yeah, so they've probably all got one, haven't they? And then that's the number.
Just where's that number coming from? Like, what is? I mean, like, literally, he might as well be someone with a random numbers generator sat in front of their thing that generates
it's almost
somewhere between 15 and 100 million, and they do it a few times, and then after a while they just go 30 million.
Yeah, find the average.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just bash that out in a report and get a load of headlines.
It's
basically just gone. Pick a number between 1 and 7 billion.
Yeah,
and we've got the planet covered.
Exactly, and then we take into account that we just don't know anything at all. So we're just going to go 30 million and just say, job done. That's some headlines generated. I'm off down the pub. That's basically what it was.
Pretty much.
Ridiculous.
Sounds like Kotick's job.
Not Kotick.
What's his name?
Oh
my God, I've been out of the game for so long.
I do hear what you mean.
What's he called? Pactor? No.
Oh, where's the seagull sound?
What's his name?
Is it Pactor?
Anyone remember the seagull sound? Was that just a blast from the past too far?
The forecaster that...
I think it's Michael Pactor.
It is Pactor, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I had seagulls, I'd make the sound.
Mm.
Oh, I haven't...
You know what I'm talking about, right? When I'm talking about the seagull sound.
No.
Am I alone here? Listeners will remember. I used to do a hilarious joke. Every time somebody said Michael Pactor, I'd play the little seagull that was by my desk, but since then I've moved house, so deal with it.
Yes, it's Michael Pactor.
Imagine a seagull sound after that.
Oh, do it. So yeah, but it wasn't him. It was Juniper Research. Juniper Research did this VR thing, and they are a well-known research firm, but they probably also just went, number.
Yeah.
This many people have got this much disposable income, probably that.
Yeah, that was it. They got in touch with the Ouija board team and had a meeting with the team that was reading the tea leaves, and they just combined their findings together. And after conferring with the dead and just checking the crystal balls, they decided 30 million, definitely 100%.
I love the idea of a company having a Ouija board department.
That would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Yeah. It's just sort of walking past. Just, all right, Dave, how's it going? I've just passed into the veil, actually. Like, all right.
Just legging it past their department.
Exactly. Well,
Michael Pactor.
Okay, there you go, Kev.
That's a joke from 2012 for you.
Kev clearly hasn't listened to any of the conversation since that. He's been searching for that sound.
I've literally left the room.
So yeah, we have no idea. Juniper Research probably they are making their number up. They've probably just done a bunch of sums with statistics and when that looks reasonable. The other bit of news, final bit of news this week. All Apple TV games. Remember we talked about Apple TV last week and how it was going to do games in that now. They are all required to have the remote functionality. So you can't make one that will only work with like the Bluetooth controller-y things.
Isn't that fine? Because if you have an Apple TV, you'll have the remote thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but more the point is more you can't make one that only works with a controller. So people no, like as in an actual because you can get the Bluetooth controllers, like they connect to your phone, but they will also be able to connect to Apple TV, I believe. And some people were saying if you could do that,
I didn't even know those existed.
Oh yeah, but some people was. I imagine George knew as he's formerly a Pocket Gamer. Yeah,
exactly.
MFI are they called? Not called MFI.
Oh,
the Furniture Warehouse.
Not them.
There's all sorts of bollocks.
Bed Bath and Beyond.
For these countries. I mean, the main thing is that if you've got one of the Amazon Fire TV, you can get Lufttrausers from Flambeer on there. You can get your controller, and obviously you can't play, the World War II inspired shooty bang thing with the stupid little Amazon Fire remote, but then you can play it with the controller, and that's all right.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Obviously, this decision by Apple means that it rules all of those games out immediately because it's like it has to use the remote.
Well, or you just enable them with like a terrible control scheme.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I'm not impressed. Not impressed.
Yeah, no, I'm not at all either. Like the things like it's got. I think you can click the touch panel on it in. So you've got like one button, but beyond that, it's a bit rubbish. I could understand this decision if, at the very minimum, they gave you like some remappable buttons on there, so that on the Apple remote, so developers could go, "Oh, cool, we've got like an A/B button, and we can use that use the touch thing as a joypad." Like, cool, we've got a basic analog stick, 2-button thing. You can kind of work with something there. It's not going to be great, but you've at least got potential. But this is basically saying if you port your game and have it support a controller, you also have to invent a terrible control scheme that no one will want to use and will make everyone hate your game.
Yay!
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yay!
I might be misusing the word "great" in that sentence.
Yay!
I think that might be all the news now.
I didn't sign up for you slagging off Apple.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Lewis.
You excited about the new Apple Pencil?
Yeah.
We spoke about it last week, but you weren't here, so...
No,
I wasn't.
Lewis is generally quite excited about this.
I'm genuinely getting one.
Yeah.
Not just a pencil, because that would be ridiculous.
That would be absolutely ridiculous.
It doesn't perform that function.
I'm going to use an Apple Pencil and a pad of A4. Dip it in an ink like an old-fashioned quill.
That'd be great. But we're going to move on now. It's time for What We Did. So, George, as I understand it, you've been playing a wide variety of football games.
Yeah, I mean, generally, I'm playing a wide variety of football games most weeks.
Love football
anyway.
games, don't you, George?
I just love football games. I love the beautiful game. I love the beautiful games, and I also like other games that are crap and football related. E.g.,
Right.
ISS 2 on the GameCube. I like that. It was
International Space Station 2?
Yeah, that was it. I mean, it's just like there wasn't any tangible link to football. I don't really understand how that got past concept, but they released it anyway. You know, and it was, and it sold.
Avant-garde, really, at the time.
Exactly. That's what happens with launch titles, though, isn't it? You know, it's just like
you
they
get
come
to
up
try
with a
something
concept.
new, don't you? You get to try something a little bit new.
Yeah, it's great.
Exactly. It's just like you're not going to get the buy-in for a space station football game normally, but this time Konami were just like, we're up for this, and then
let's do it, guys. We've got one chance. Let's just bloody go for it.
Yeah.
Let's do it, and then it's just like, let's never do that again. But anyway, yeah. So I've been playing the PES demo, the FIFA demo, and Rocket League.
Okay. Which is kind of weird because Rocket League, is a football game. It just feels very odd to describe it as one.
So this is the thing. My theory is
it's definitely a caveat. It's a football game. There's definitely that sort of nuance to Rocket League when you start describing it in that way.
The thing is, I think Rocket League is actually weirdly enough more authentically like football than either of the other two games is.
From what I've played, I haven't played a lot of Rocket League, but from what I've played, it is the game that most accurately describes five-a-side football.
That's
in the way that you're sort of scrabbling around and have no real control of the ball or where it's going.
Yeah. This is the thing, right? Because when you start off playing it, it is basically like going back to primary school and playing football again. It's just a horde of excitable children on fizzy pop chasing after things and falling over and then crying when it doesn't go their way. And then after a while, people start playing it properly and people go, oh, hang on a second. Well, if one of us defends, right, then that means that they stop scoring as many goals. And then what happens is people start going, all right, how about we all take it in turns to defend during a game so we kind of do it fluidly? And then it's like, oh, well, hang on a minute. There's one guy defending. So how about we try blowing that guy up or try smacking into him to taking him out of the game to try and make sure that we can score a goal more easily? And it becomes like this really nice tactical game played as if you're actually like playing. It feels more like you're playing football because you're an individual and you're working within a team, which is what football is. You know, it's just like what FIFA and PES are. They are like you're in charge of a football team, but it's more like you're conducting a football team.
That's actually a very accurate depiction.
Yeah, it's like you're not, because that's not what football is. Because you are not all 11 players. So PES is like
you're not, maybe.
Well, exactly. Well, this is it. You know, maybe I'm just not good enough.
You haven't tried one aside, have you?
Well, that's it. I must have only played it once, and it was so difficult for me that I just gave up. But yeah, you've got this thing with PES where you've got like the conducting the team, and then in FIFA, it is basically Sky Sports the simulator now, in which you're basically the main reason you're playing this game is to indulge Martin Tyler and his hubristic taste of the world, and so. It's just like Martin, I don't want to hear your rant about Wayne Rooney not having scored enough goals in the last season for the 17th time. I really don't want to. I really don't. But it's an interesting one because this year PES, I think, is the better game. I mean, because it always comes down to PES, FIFA, which one do people go for? And this year, PES is clearly the better game. But you know something? It's also kind of a bit dry. So I'm a big Football Manager fan, and I'm basically at all points I'm playing Football Manager at some time or
another. Actively while you're playing PES?
Yeah, that's it. While I'm playing PES, I've just got my Paris Saint-Germain save up on the side, just watching Edinson Cavani score another screamer, going, yes, boys. That's Edinson doesn't score goals like that. But anyway, so the thing about Football Manager is obviously it's a very tactical, quite nerdy game where you have to put all the bits together, and it's very complicated, but it all kind of works together like that. PES is a bit like that, but it's also dressed up as trying to be a bit more fun and accessible. I just don't really buy it. I just don't have as much enjoyment of it in comparison to FIFA and its stupid, superhuman athlete, fast people who have no skill or subtlety but can hit a ball really hard into a goal.
Yeah, FIFA is not as much as FIFA pretends to be very simulation-y. It's not an arcade game, but it is much closer to an arcade game than PES is.
Totally. And it's like, and this year as well, particularly, it is like everyone has taken a load of crack before they've got onto the pitch. It is so fast paced. It was ridiculous. Like if you go between the two of them, I mean, like PES, it's basically like, I don't know, it's a Sunday afternoon after you've just eaten a pub lunch and you've just gone for an amble in the countryside. Whereas FIFA is like a hardcore rave in Berlin at like sort of 2 a.m, where you've had so many drugs that you just don't know what you're doing, which is obviously an experience we're all very familiar with, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Something we can relate to in both ways. The Sunday amble as well, yeah.
Exactly.
But kind of what I've always felt with PES, and I personally do prefer FIFA, but PES is. It has like the game has heft and weight and momentum to it, which FIFA doesn't really. You just I'm just going to turn left and it's fine. I'm full sprint down the pitch and now I'm going to move the ball inside, and you can't do that in football. Physics don't work that way.
No, exactly.
You know what they should make? A Shaolin soccer game.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
That's a football game I would play.
That would be absolutely epic. I would so buy the crap out of that. That would be good. But I do agree with you about PES versus FIFA. But the thing is, it's just like the nearest, I've been trying to describe it a bit this year. It's like PES and FIFA. It's like iOS and Android. That's what I kind of think.
It is.
Like, so FIFA is, okay, all right. It's a little bit simplistic at times. You kind of have, if you're going to win, you have to do these kind of basic stupid things, but it's all nice and flashy. The presentation's great. It all works. It's all really nice and slick. Whereas PES, it's like, okay, if you really want to get into it and you really want to get deep into it, you can, and you will get so rewarded from it. But you have to put up with the shitty menus and the shitty problems, e.g., the fact that they haven't got the official kits. Because what happens is people with PES, it's just like, oh, it's fine. You just have to go onto this thing and you just have to take photos of every single kit and then load it into the game and then it's fine. And it's just like, you know something? I don't actually want to take photos of every single football kit around that I want to have in the fucking game and put it in myself. How about you just put them in the bloody game?
Yeah, that's the thing where they're just like, look, all you have to do is go and search for these downloads, go onto some forum, download a file that you're not quite sure what it is, put it on a USB stick, take that USB stick to your PS4, put it in, and then just import the software. What's wrong with that?
Exactly. And then once you've got the saw, you've got to go and take it to the carpenter, and then the carpenter will let you go and get Begorran's sword
just
or whatever.
6 to 18 simple steps.
Exactly. And then you have a massive knife that you can kill Ganondorf with. Oh, wait, hang on. Sorry, I've gotten distracted. But essentially, yes, that's it. And it's one of those things like, I mean, just looking at them, I mean, it's kind of, I'm trying to work out what a football game really is. And ultimately, after having played all of these, I still feel like Rocket League is probably what a football game should be more like. It's like, that is what football is actually like playing. Whereas PES and FIFA are like these, you're the orchestra of the world's most overpaid band.
Look, we all know the best football games are Italia 90, which is just awesome.
I should say Sensible World of Soccer for Peter Chapman.
I was going to say Sensible World of Soccer is brilliant.
Yeah.
And then the best FIFA is probably like FIFA 96 or 98. where it was kind of terrible.
Road to World Cup '98 was pretty good with Footix, the sort of cockerel mascot.
That was it. And FIFA '98. It's Road to World Cup. Did also have the indoor pitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then of course, obviously, the Mario football game.
Ooh, Strikers or whatever the hell it was.
Because that's just incredibly stupid and amazing.
Yeah, well, exactly. I agree, and I think that's the thing. Is like people have kind of forgotten that football games in this quest to be like more and more realistic. Like you can still be fun, guys.
Yeah.
How about still being fun? That's fun, and that's the reason why.
It's like when a TV sitcom runs for too many series, and then it all gets a bit angsty and romancy. No one wants that.
No, not at all.
Go back to being fun and light.
I mean, let's be honest. By this point in the series, we're just waiting for FIFA and PES to kiss. Yeah. It's basically it. That's it. So to conclude, Konami and EA need to get together and make it happen.
Yeah.
Make FIPES.
FIPES. Or
PIFA.
PES. Basically.
PEFA.
PEFA. Exactly. Because that will solve all the problems.
It will.
For sure. Done.
We've solved football games by creating some kind of terrible, terrible world.
Yes, that's it. Well, that's usually my solution to most problems.
When all else fails, do a mashup.
Exactly, do a mashup.
But final word on this: best football game is, of course, Rocket League. The best one at the minute, anyway.
Yes, I do agree. Totes.
I can't argue with you realistically.
That's good. I didn't want to.
No.
Because it was going to get brutal.
No, it was. Could get nasty.
Also, I think we all agree, so...
Yeah.
That's good.
It would have made an argument awkward at best.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So, Lewis, you have been playing Armello.
I have been playing Armello.
Which is like a card game in that, right?
I don't know what that is. Tell me about what that is.
It was.
It's like a card game with like bunnies who are knights.
I'm not talking to you, Kris. I'm talking to Lewis.
Yeah, you shut your mouth.
All right.
I'm sorry. I apologise for the outburst.
Sorry, I instigated that. I do apologise.
Kev riled me up. I
was inciting.
Yeah, peer pressure. I'm sorry, Kris. Yes. No, Armello.
I like that Kris stayed silent for that entire apology.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm just letting it come. I voted for it in last month's PS Plus vote, but unfortunately that silly robot game won. So when it was released on the store, I bought it anyway because I haven't seen anything of it other than the trailer for it, and it intrigued me a lot. And it's extremely good. I really enjoy it, which is strange because it's got some. It's a turn-based strategy game, which previous episodes have revealed aren't my favourite game. For example, there was the episode where I revealed that I bought Civilization, despite the fact that I didn't like turn-based strategy games.
That was a poor decision, really.
It was. I don't know why I did it. But
it's just not well thought out, if anything.
It's not. And to be honest, I didn't realise Armello was, but turns out that this is one that I really, really like.
Really, you should just be researching things.
Well, I think maybe it's actually better that you didn't research, because probably, Lewis, you
wouldn't have bought it. Exactly. And it's really good. It's I think it was a board game to start with, and has through Kickstarter has transformed itself into obviously a game on consoles and PCs and stuff. And so it's a mixture. You've got the turn-based elements of a board game. You've got card game. You've got dice, like a Dungeons and Dragons style dice play. And you've got really good characters and a great art style. It's loads of the reviews that you see in the trailers and stuff mention Studio Ghibli. They say, it's got the character and the spirit of a Studio Ghibli film, and they're right in the sense that the art style is quite reminiscent of Studio Ghibli. But I think it's as if Studio Ghibli made Kung Fu Panda. That's the vibe.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, it's like that crossed with Wind in the Willows.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if you guys ever read Red Wall by.
No. I haven't read it, but I do know of it.
Author. I can't remember his name.
Red Wall.
Red War, which was just about sort of like warriors and armies and stuff, but they were all anthropomorphized animals.
Yeah, it's like woodland creatures.
It was sort of awesome, but also a whole book series, which is the same story every time, but with a different animal.
Yes, but it was also just this thought of like otters just disemboweling each other was kind of, at the time when I was a child, it was kind of, this is cool, and now at this age, I think,
nope, that's still really cool.
Disturbing. Still cool.
It sounds like it would be similar to that. You've got basically you have
Farthing Wood, the animated series. Do you remember that?
It's just lovely. The game starts off with a great animation that sets up the characters and things, and it's just like I could watch an animated series of in that style. I think it's got potential in terms of story and content. So basically, you have you're in this. I think it's the Kingdom of Armello, and at the moment, I believe he's a lion, is a king, and he is being infected by what they call the rot, which is darkness that's enveloping the land and causing problems and things. So your mission is to, depending on whichever character you choose, your mission is to become the new king or queen of Armello. And you have a choice of several characters, and they're all done in different clans. So there's an aspect of Game of Thrones about it as well. So you have the Wolf Clan, who are at the moment consist of Thane and River. You've got the Bear Clan, and they're made up of Sanna and Brun. You've got Rabbit Clan, and they're Barnaby and Amber. And then you've got the Rat Clan, and they're Zosha
Barnaby and Amber.
Barnaby and Amber, they're
Classic
rabbits.
Rabbit's names.
Yep. And then the Rat Clan are Zosha and Mercurio. And they all have their own sort of special ability. So the wolves are quite strong and savvy when it comes to fighting. Bears are really good with spirit-based things. Barnaby and Amber are very good with magic. And Zosha and Mercurio, being rats, are very stealthy and very sneaky and cunning. So as your character, you have 4 statistics. You have health, fight, spirit, and health. So body, fight, spirit, and wits. So those 4 statistics are the base of your gameplay. So, for example, if you pick Thane, who I think has a 5 fight but a lower spirit level, when you come when you come to spirit level,
all right,
don't worry, just ignore me.
Sorry, very slow of me. Sorry.
So when you come to fight certain things, you will either need a high fight or a high wits, and that's where you're picking a character comes in key, depending on what route you want to take. So you could either go all guns blazing, just going to fight everyone until you get to the king and try to kill him, or you could be sneaky and trick everyone and backstab and lie your way to the throne, or you could use magic and do it that way. And as you play, you get three moves per go. So you can obviously move 3 spaces, or you can attack. You can play cards and things like that. So the trouble with Armello, and I found this starting to play it, is you start to think there's so much going on that I'll never get my head around it. But actually, once, I'd say probably about an hour after I played it, you've gone through all the little tutorial bits, and it's deceptively simple. Because once you get there, you're like, well, I don't understand why I didn't understand it. It all makes sense now. So you have a deck of cards, and they can consist of items, magics, and trickery cards, which will be things like in battle plus 2 dice when fighting guards, or play this spell and you can have an extra move, or play this spell and you put a bounty on someone else's head. So basically, your aim is, like I say, to be king of Armello, king or queen of Armello, and along the way you can complete objectives such as collecting spirit stones, collecting followers, or collecting royal treasure. And once you have a certain amount of them, you can attack the palace. But like I say, you're not limited to that. If you wanted to, you could go and attack the palace straight away. The chances are you won't get very far, because obviously people are stronger than you at the start of the game. And yeah, I just really, really enjoyed it. It's like I say, it's simple once you get into it, and it's It's easy to pick up. Games tend to last about, I don't know, let's say an hour a game, because the king has 10 hearts, and every dawn he'll lose a heart. So you can only ever have 10 days until the king dies, and then the winner is announced. So if you defeat the king in battle, you obviously become king or queen. If you defeat the king in battle but die in battle yourself, then there's a couple of other ways other people can win. There's a thing called prestige. So the character who has the most prestige, if the king dies and the attacker dies as well, the person who is the prestige leader will become the ruler of Armello. And you get prestige by becoming renowned through the land. So saving towns, defeating Banes, which are dark monsters that come out at nighttime as part of the rot. But you will also lose prestige for things like killing an armed guard, a royal guard, and things like that. And you can also fight other heroes along the way, so you get prestige that way. So if you've got the most prestige, you will become the ruler of Armello that way. So yeah, I've probably just made it sound completely confusing, and everyone's.
It does sound really complicated.
What the fuck are you talking about? But like I say, after you play the intro games, because the prologue introduces you to the 4 main characters, and then so you play each one of those just to get the understanding that they have different specialities, but it teaches you all of the rules and things like that. So it does sound super confusing, but play the prologue, and I promise you that after that you'll think, oh no, that is simple. And then, like I say, it's just really good to nip in and just play a game of Armello. I've bought it on PSN and have also bought it on Steam, because the biggest issue I have with the console version is that the text is, I would say 70% of the time, 75% of the time, unreadable from a normal sitting position, and even on my big TV, it's unreadable. Which is a shame, because a lot of the game you need to read, because obviously there's cards that you need to read, and you can make them bigger, and you can sort of get the gist once you start to understand the labels and pictures and stuff. You can get a gist of it, but a lot of the missions and sort of story that goes behind it gets lost because I just can't see it. It is completely unreadable. So there's probably lots of things that I'm missing in terms of story connection.
Yeah. So
I've got it on Steam as well, just to play it there. But even with that I'm still enjoying it on the PS4. And it's also got a great soundtrack, including music with Lisa Gerrard, who, for fellow film fans or music fans, will know her from Dead Can Dance, who did the Gladiator soundtrack with Hans Zimmer. She does all the like Middle Eastern style singing.
Oh, okay.
So the soundtrack's really good as well. So I would definitely recommend it. And I think people, like I say, like myself, will be surprised at how much it has to offer once you get your head around all the ins and outs of it.
Excellent. Does sound like I kind of want to play it because it looks really interesting.
Yeah, if you go online, or even from the PSN store, if you watch the trailer, the like I say, the animation they've done for it's just.
Yeah, I think you're right. I could totally just watch that as like an anime series.
It's brilliant, and like I say, I immediately got the sense of Studio Ghibli mixed with Kung Fu Panda, and I know Kung Fu Panda is a 3D generated, obviously animation, but there's that it's that style of animation to it that I don't know, it just reminds me of it. But there's a shot in the intro in the trailer of a Thane wolf. His sword has got blood on it on the end, and it's dripping into the snow. And that shot alone, you just think, wow, there's something about that shot and that animation. It's a bit Kill Bill-esque, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I think it's a lovely looking game.
I definitely, like I say, I definitely give it a try. Right, Kev.
Yeah.
You have been watching stuff.
That's true. I watched that animated movie of the DC universe ilk called Gods and Monsters, which is an alternative DC universe movie where it follows.
I would say alternate rather than alternative.
Well, both would be true, I suppose.
Yeah, alternative just kind of sounds weird.
Alternative, like they're all just like listening to rock music. And
it just makes it sound like, do you know, we'll pick this universe. I've decided to go to this universe, not the other one. This is just a better alternative.
Okay, so it's an alternate universe DC adventure, animated adventure, and it follows the Justice League, although in this universe there are only 3 members of the Justice League, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. And all 3 of those characters have completely different, or at least somewhat different, origin stories from the ones that we know and love. So Superman, the film's the opening scene is sort of the classic, what's it called? Krypton? Is that just the name of the planet? Krypton. That didn't sound like enough syllables.
Do you mean No, it's Krypton. Krypton, yeah.
You're trying to think of kryptonite.
Yeah, but you're saying
Krypton. Yeah,
Krypton like rather than Krypton.
So Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman.
Superman.
Yeah.
There's the Superman.
Yeah, like a batsman. Superman. Anyway, so the opening scene is the planet Krypton, and it's the kind of story that we're all familiar with. And Kara, is it his mum? I can't remember. And Jor-El are there, but then instead of Jor-El getting to the machine and making, in this universe, like he's inserting his like DNA through some blood, like a pinprick on his thumb, to sort of start the incubation process, which starts when the rocket goes. So the fetus is grown during flight, rather than them putting a baby in a spaceship, because that's irresponsible. But in this universe, Zod, General Zod, arch nemesis of Krypton, or at least like sort of Kryptonian war dude who is largely blamed for blowing
Kryptonian war dude.
Yeah. He manages to sort of sabotage and sort of knock Jor-El out of the way and put his own DNA instead. So Superman's mum's the same, but his dad is General Zod this time round.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Therefore, as an adult, he has a goatee and that funny little hairdo that Zod has with just like the sort of 90s front fringy thing going on. So that's his origin story. So he's General Zod's kid, not Jor-El's kid. But he's when he crash lands on Earth, he's picked up by Spanish migrants rather than the Kents.
Yeah.
But that's basically not touched upon. Wonder Woman, interestingly enough, for fans of the DC universe, is son of the Allfather, or is it the Archfather? Allfather, the guy who's constantly.
Hang on a minute. Wonder Woman is son of the Archfather.
No,
now
daughter.
that is a twist.
No, when I said son,
that is a twist.
Daughter.
But I do like the guy from
the arch nemesis of Darkseid, like
I think his name's the Allfather.
I think it's the Allfather. So there's Darkseid is the ruler of
Apocalypse.
And the Allfather is the ruler of the other one that's like the antithesis of that.
New something.
I'll look
this up because it's going to annoy me.
Yeah, I can't remember. There's a lot of gaps in my DC knowledge here. But anyway, so Wonder Woman is the daughter of the Allfather, and she agrees or is arranged to marry Orion, son of Darkseid. And then, random things happen, which I won't spoil. But she ends up...
New Genesis is where they live.
New Genesis, that's it. And she ends up going to Earth, and that's how. So she's nothing to do with the Amazonians. She is like, totally new Genesian. Anyway, and then finally, Batman is a vampire.
Oh, also his name is Highfather. Sorry,
Highfather. That's it.
Yeah.
Hi, son.
Yeah.
Oh, boo.
Daughter.
Boo.
Yeah. So and Batman's a vampire.
Yeah, Batman's just a fucking vampire. I saw that shot and I was like,
nothing like that. He's just he's a guy called Kyle.
That's a shit vampire name.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not always been a vampire. He was some sort of horrific cancer patient or something.
I just kind of think if you became a vampire, you'd change your name from Kyle.
Yeah. Well, that's what he was given. That's what he's stuck with. So yeah, and they are more or less good guys, but they're a lot more controversial than the Justice League we know, because they go into like a terrorist lair and just murder everyone and go, well, problem solved. And so it's a lot sort of less family friendly than your average neighborhood Justice League.
As in, it's not family friendly at all.
Not at all. No, it's quite sort of jarring at first to see Superman just like murdering people with his laser vision, just like setting them on fire until they're dead and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's kind of the opening gambit of the film. Is like that's where we're at right now.
So would you recommend this overall, though?
Yeah, it was a really interesting take on sort of what could have been in the DC universe. And,
I think what I like with this as well, though, is because normally that when they do these DC animated stuff, they're like adapting something, whereas this is the first thing I think they've done in a while where they made a thing,
the original story.
Yeah.
Which
just kind of
yeah, it's cool. It's there are a lot of things that you go, oh yeah, from the DC universe, like stuff that I'm not going to say actually because I've changed my mind about spoilers. But yeah, it's totally worth watching because, well, if you're interested in the DC animated stuff, because it's got really quality animation in the same in this sort of similar style. I think Bruce Timm is on board with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he created this. I'm sure I read
Yeah,
I'm sure I read something about it. That Bruce Timm.
Yeah. Who is, of course, famous for a lot of the Batman animated series and other DC animated
they're just being like
fucking
amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all fully legit DC action, and yeah, it's just a really interesting concept, and it plays with a lot of kind of the more moral questions, like Lex Luthor, for example. I'm not going to give anything away, but like. He is traditionally just like, well, Superman has a lot of power, and if unchecked, that could be a bad thing. But in this case, like, it is quite often left unchecked, and he keeps murdering people. So it's like it's a lot more grey than black and white. Like they're not just the good guys; they're also kind of a band of murderers who are happening to be working for the United States or whatever. So yeah, it's really worth a watch. I enjoyed it a lot. If you're interested in that sort of.
I definitely want to give this a look because it does sound really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Is this still the Superman thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I just cut off. I just wanted to make sure I had them.
But yeah, no, it sounds great, and I'll definitely see if I can afford the Blu-ray of it. Maybe it'll be on if I'm lucky, because sometimes these things go on like Amazon Instant Streaming, but not for.
There's a few DC stuff. There's a few bits of DC things on Netflix as well, so it might be.
Yeah,
worth.
There are sometimes. I'll have a little poke about. But for this, like, I wouldn't even mind paying because the streaming prices on Amazon Instant Video are actually quite reasonable sometimes. So even if it was like $1.99, $2.99 to rent it, I wouldn't mind paying that.
Yeah,
and I don't know if I necessarily want to buy this because it feels like something you might watch once.
Yeah. I don't feel the need to kind of have it in collection.
I think it's something like you'd watch once and be like, "That was cool."
Same way that I've only read Red Sun once, even though I've had it for like I don't know. 7 years or something. So yeah, that's it really.
Good.
I'd recommend it.
So this week I've been playing Train Valley, which is an absolutely lovely game that I've been playing on Steam. I don't think it's out on anything else.
Is it about trains in a valley?
It's about trains. It's not really explicit about the valley element of it.
False advertising.
That I can't argue with there. But I mean it's a small playing area, but I would not say a valley necessarily. It's interesting. You might have caught them out, Kev.
Probably not the most interesting part about the game, though, I imagine.
No, so if there's anyone play a game a little while ago called The Train Yard on iOS?
I don't tend to play train-based games.
Is that the one where you got to try and get all the coloured trains into the right coloured station?
Yeah. So basically, it's very similar.
Brilliant game, that is.
It's really similar to that, except but with elements of like a proper transport simulator thrown in. So you've got like.
I remember you talking about this not so long back.
Did I talk about it?
You said
I don't remember.
You got to create your own little and you create a subway map.
No, that's a different game.
Oh,
that's Cities in Motion.
Well, you play a lot of train games.
Oh, I fucking love trains. That's why. But this is very close to the train yard in that you've got different coloured stations, and you've got to get the trains from station like the blue station to the yellow station or whatever.
You got to get the blue station to the yellow station.
You got to get a train from a train will leave the blue station and it'd be like a train that wants to go to the yellow station.
Right, I'm with you.
But the difference to Train Yard is one, it's in 3D, like full 3D, and it looks lovely. It looks, it's kind of got a slightly like tilt shifted kind of look to it, so it looks like a little bit like you're playing with a train set, but in the real world.
Like SimCity does.
Yeah, kind of SimCity-ish. It's really nice. It looks really good. It's kind of it's a little bit cartoony in its presentation as well, but it looks really, really nice. It's got just a very nice they've picked a look and really gone with it, so that's always a good thing, I feel. The other difference is that it's a little bit more like a real simulation game, that you've got an actual budget. So because in Trainyard you could just draw like preposterous track layouts to make it work, right? Whereas here you've got because you've only got a limited budget, you can't go crazy. So you've really got to think about your points layout, and all this kind of stuff, which for me really works. And so it's in between a puzzly game and a full simulation game. It's definitely not a full simulation game because it is very limited in what you can do. Like you can't place stations yourself, for example. All you can do is place track and demolish track and change where the points are leading. And changing where the points are leading is possibly the hardest part of the game, because you look at the track you think a train's going to follow, and you miss 1 point on the whole thing, and it ends up going into the wrong station, and then nothing bad happens. It goes in and it comes out again. But there's quite a lot of levels have 3 stars on, and one of the stars is normally don't let any trains go into the wrong station. So I've had it before where I've got maybe 4 or 5 trains from the end, and I've just sent one into the wrong station and just hit the restart button because it just annoyed me that I wasn't going to get 3 stars. But the thing is as well is you don't want to... So you can decide when trains get dispatched, but the longer you leave a train waiting, the less money it will earn you when it arrives. So you kind of want to send trains via the quickest possible route, because then they will earn you the most money. And then you can use that money to build more train lines, and also, again, some of the 3-star systems earn X amount of money on this level. There's really not a lot more to say beyond that. It's a very simple game, but it's an awful lot of fun, and it's really, really hard really quickly, even though, because Peter Chapman has been playing this. I was talking to him about it. And he pointed out something that I didn't know, which is that you can pause it and you can lay track and set switches while paused. And weirdly, you'd think that would make the game way too easy. It does make it easier, but you're still like, oh shit, this is incredibly difficult. And I can't work out why it's still so difficult. Because you'd think in a game where you can pause it and do all the game mechanics while paused, that game should be way, way easier, right? But it's definitely not. It's still quite hard, and it still gets frantic really quickly. And it's a lot of fun. And I was accidentally playing it past midnight last night, and I didn't intend to. I was like, "Oh shit! It's 10. It's 10:12. I need to go to bed. I should have gone to bed an hour ago. Bugger." But it's just really good, and if you like games about trains and you like puzzle games and you like, definitely if you're a fan of stuff like Transport Tycoon or Cities in Motion, but you want to play something that's a lot kind of simpler and a lot more pared down, this is the game you should be getting. This is the game you should be trying out, because that is what it's really going for. It's going for a game that is sets to a much more constrained rule set than you have in those bigger games. But because of that, it feels a lot tighter, and it's really, really, really enjoyable. And it has also got sandbox mode. You still can't set the stations in the sandbox mode. So basically, you play one of the puzzle levels again, but if you put it into sandbox, you're not given any targets, and it just keeps going forever, I think. And you can pick when stations appear, whereas in the puzzle mode, stations will appear as you're moving through a level, a new station will appear, and you've got to connect it to your current train network, which is quite sneaky because they randomize the order they appear in. So if you've played the level a couple of times, it's not going to, although the locations are the same, the order isn't the same, so you can't kind of preemptively lay track to where you know the station's going to be, which is a good idea. The other thing that's very smart is at the end of a level, because basically you just have to survive for a certain amount of time without dying. But at the end of the level, there's a little infinity button, and it will just let you keep playing the same level in sandbox mode, which is quite a nice touch. I think sandbox mode just keeps going until you become bankrupt, basically. Because if you get lots of crashes, then obviously you lose money, and you have to pay taxes every year as well, and that loses you money. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this. I believe it's $6.99 on Steam. I'm not sure if it's available on any other platforms, but anything I could see it working as an iOS, and I don't think it is on iOS. But yeah, I really just go play it. It doesn't require a lot of horsepower for your PC to play it. It plays on my new MacBook, and that's from 2011, and it plays quite happily on that. It gets a bit hot, but beyond that, it's fine. So yeah, definitely give it a go if you're a fan of transport simulation games. Right, I think we're going to move on to question time.
Question time.
So we had questions this week, which is always good. That's what you want. So I upgraded my phone to
I'd love to hear some of them.
I upgraded my phone to iOS 9 while we were doing this podcast, and now everything's different, and I got slightly confused.
Is it out?
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah, it came out today, this evening, in fact.
It's because I plugged it into my laptop to charge it, and then my laptop was like, "Hey, do you want to install the thing?" I was like, "Yeah, all right. See what happens." Questions are: Jamas would like to know, aren't cheesecakes the best? But that's confusing because you'd normally go, are cheesecakes the best?
Are not cheesecakes the best?
He's just looking for,
going for the posh answer. He's
looking for some reassurance.
Yes.
They are nice.
Yeah, cheesecakes are pretty great.
They're all right. I wouldn't say they're the best.
No. I mean, I had a waffle today. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah. I mean, just the best.
Cheesecake with a waffle base.
Oh, no, you could have a crumbly base.
Not if you make them like I do.
No, crumbly.
No, it's like a mix. You get a waffle.
Nah, Lewis.
And then you put a cheesecake and you put it in you set it in a ramekin so it's in the right size.
Unacceptable.
No, it's not. It's
You ever thought about how weird cheese is?
Cheese is weird.
Yeah. I think we all agree cheese is weird, right?
And I just had some red. I had a red Leicester sandwich before the podcast.
Right, red Leicester's one of the worst kinds of cheese. I just want to put that out there.
Red Leicester's
Red Leicester's a good cheese.
It's very mild and obviously very, it's not the most exciting. But it's gorgeous. It's lovely. It's milky. It's creamy.
No.
But the thing about cheese, right, is it's like a curdled, solidified version of nutritional food for an animal that isn't us. And that's just weird.
Yeah, but meat's pretty weird when you think about it.
Yeah, that's true.
We just chopped up another animal and then we were like, I used to move with that. Nah, it's tasty, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty weird.
Yeah. So... but I do have to question how...
It's sad now.
I mean, what I do find weird is how anyone... stuff like cheese, you're like, how did you invent that?
Well, I was... Right, what was happening, right? I was suckling on this cow, right? And I was like, ugh, don't want that for a bit. So I spat it out. But I left it on this sort of... on this plate that was in the sun. And after that, it solidified. Yeah, weird to invent that. But then you think about that with any food, like bread. How did someone ever make bread?
Yeah. Because you got to grind grain. You got to get grain and then put it between two big stones and grind it. And then, I mixed it with some yeast and some water. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's a difficult process.
Yeah.
I mixed it with some yeast and some water and then left it to rise for a bit. And then I cooked it.
Yeah. Sort of heated it up a whole bunch.
Yeah, that's weird.
But it turns out it made this sort of weird solid object that was great to put other things between.
No, we didn't do that until the 19th century.
Yeah, that's true. Imagine if somebody invented bread and sandwiches all at once. They invented bread so they could have a sandwich.
I really want a sandwich. I need to invent bread. I do need to invent bread.
It's like 2 slices of bread with stuff in. Well, what's bread? Good point. Let's invent bread.
Right, I need to invent bread first, and then we'll deal with the sandwich after.
Yeah. We're taking too many steps at a time here. Yeah. Hang on. Someone invent bread. Right, good. Now we've got bread. Let's make a sandwich.
Yeah.
The Earl of Sandwich, where are you? We need to name this. What do you want to call it? Seems like you've already got a good name going on with sandwich. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
How I imagine the history of sandwiches and bread went.
Jasnam would like to know. That was all about cheesecake. Jasnam would like to know, hello, what do you think about the iOS? What do you think? I think it means just about iOS, not the iOS. What do you think about iOS now having a proper keyboard with actual lowercase letters?
I've heard people don't like it, mainly just Pete. That's the only person I've heard feedback on it at all, in fact.
Yeah.
Peter Chapman. He didn't like it. I haven't upgraded to iOS yet, so I can't really vouch for it. But I don't really see the need. Well, I don't understand, because lowercase keyboard, isn't that not already supplied with iOS 8?
Yeah, so it's not. They've basically just changed it. Like, it's just a different font, I think, is what he's talking about. The new font is called, I believe it's called San Francisco. Yeah. That's a bit weird, but I'll get used to it.
That's where they're based, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cupertino.
Anyway, let's go back to you, Lewis. Can you explain your waffle-based thing? Cheesecake.
It's not that difficult to understand, surely.
Because for a start, a waffle, you need to cook it in a waffle press. You can't do that if it's in the bottom of a ramekin.
No. Don't be a dick. Think about it logically.
All right.
So you make your waffles.
Oh, so the waffle is
like waffle batter and then put cheesecake.
Sorry, I apologise, because that's
basically you just mix waffles and cheese together and see what you get, and I call it a cheesecake. No, you make a waffle.
Sorry,
I call it a waffle.
I apologise, Lewis, because I thought what you said originally was you put waffle batter in the bottom of a ramekin. I was like, that makes no sense.
You'd end up with a complete mess.
Well, that's why I was so derogatory.
You make a waffle, you cut it to shape, and then you put your cheesecake topping on. Make it all nice and neat and look pretty, and it's fucking delicious.
I'm sorry, but like cheesecake should be crumbly base.
Well, no, it's an option. I'm not saying you have to have it this way. It was just an experiment, and it turned out to be quite nice.
George, as the founder of GamerBake, what is your stance on cheesecake? Crumbly base, waffle base, some kind of mad third base option? We all know there are only two bases.
Well, I think I would probably go for a crumbly, buttery biscuit base.
Oh, sure, side with him.
Yeah, well, I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. It's just, well, I mean, a waffle.
It's not like this isn't how I exclusively eat cheesecake.
You've made it sound like that, Lewis.
Get it here first, guys.
It was
exclusively cheesecake.
This was just an experiment I did for a dinner party that turned. It was nice, but I do too like the crumbly bases of cheesecake.
Okay, all right. Well,
and I have made many with a crumbly base.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. That's important to know.
Because if you mix it with Oreos, if you make an Oreo crumbly base bit,
it's quite nice.
It's lovely.
Yeah, that's solid. I can get behind you there.
Yeah, exactly. I can generally get behind the concept of other biscuits other than sort of digestive biscuits.
That's fine.
Smashed up. Smash other biscuits up all you like.
We all accept that.
I think it's just look. I mean, change takes time to accept. All right, and waffle base is a big change. I'm not. I know it was an experiment. I know it's gone down well, but it was a big change, and we just all need to take some time, probably a couple of weeks at least.
I'm sorry, Skype is being a complete cunt. Are we still talking about waffle cheesecakes?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are.
Yeah.
No, it's an important topic here, Kev.
Basically, we can accept it's a thing, but let's all just take time. Let's all take time and reflect upon why it's a thing.
But yeah, acceptance is not the same as liking.
Exactly.
You haven't tried it.
Haven't tried it. So what I'm going to do is just like, I hate it. I don't like it. I haven't tried it, so I don't like it.
It's something new, isn't it?
It's something new, isn't it? I don't like it.
Look, I'm right here.
Essentially, well, I have a hunch you're right, but let's find out.
You turncoat.
Well, I don't know. Basically, never trust me. That's one.
You are George Osborn.
I know, exactly. I'm fickle.
Right.
Fickle as can be.
With cheesecake thoroughly covered and also the iOS keyboard thing, Tough Cub would like to know, he says, hello, please tell us your opinions of Jeremy Corbyn, because I haven't had enough of them.
I don't think this is the right forum for sort of political discourse.
Sorry, because I haven't had enough of them on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good. The updating to iOS 9 now means that tweets get cut off in Tweetbot, so that's great.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good feature.
That's really convenient. That's what I was aiming for.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, love it.
But yeah, Jezza,
he's alright. Yeah.
I just don't know if I can be bothered, really. Jezza, honestly, he's on that front bench opposite me. Just
the truth comes out.
I just look at him and just think, just cut your beard, man. Cut it. It's just like, yeah. I mean, beige. Who wears beige? Honestly.
See, now I liked his whole asking people to write in questions for PMQs. Yeah. I thought that was a good idea until he insisted. I get that he wanted to read out who the question was from, but the fact that he only used the first name just made it sound. It made it sound really weird.
It did.
So my friend said,
"Yeah."
I just felt like it was sort of descending into like an episode of the Tim Lovejoy and Simon whatever his name is thing, Sunday brunch.
Yeah,
they're asking completely.
It did feel like that.
Underarm serving balls across the net so that Dave can, just gently knock it back and we're having a great time, aren't we? Oh, this is really nice. And it's just like all at the same time. It's just like, oh yeah. By the way, the government just completely tax credits for a certain group in society. But
did you not see? He didn't sing the national anthem, so I don't know.
Yeah. Whereas one of Cameron's own backbenchers asked him what he could do about the fact that her local hospital was so underfunded that they've had to turn away ambulances in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
That was an actual hard-hitting question that was asked by another Tory MP. I just really
we want to keep our.
I was going to say this isn't really the forum for it.
All I'll say about Jeremy Corbyn is at the moment he feels like one of the supply teachers that every class wants to have, but whether it's good in the long run, I'm not too sure.
He does feel a bit like that.
He's great. Exactly, he's great. He seems like a nice guy. But, it's just like one of those things. It's like, it's nice to have it like one lesson every couple of months, but you don't want it for the whole of your maths GCSE, do you? Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my...
Depends how much ambition you got in life, really.
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's it. I mean,
but it feels like when they come in and they're like, right, guys, we're going to try something a bit different today. No. Yeah. No, don't do that.
No, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I just have this feeling of, I don't know. I can't imagine it ending in anything other than tears within the next 2-3 years.
The thing is, we will move on from politics very shortly. But the thing is, I personally don't really object to a lot of the policies he's got. Some of them I don't agree with, some of them I do agree with. But you don't have to present them in this way. I know people are somewhat against identikit politicians. The answer to that is not to swing to the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, people don't like that thing, so the only thing they will like is the exact polar opposite.
Yeah. I just think he also just wears this expression of a man who's picked up a winning lottery ticket, been told he's won the lottery, and he's gone up to the desk and realised it's only a tenner. Yeah. It's just like, oh shit. I really thought it was going to be much better than this. Because just it's like when he won the leadership and he's just sitting there and it looks like genuinely it's like someone's just told him that, The Wire's just been cancelled and he can't watch it anymore. And it's just like, and you just see in his face just going, I can accept this, but I don't need to be happy about this. And it's just, So that's my hot take.
Oh, I did see a brilliant interview with him where the BBC correspondent informed him he was going to have to swear loyalty to the Queen. And he seemed genuinely unaware of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which you think someone would have pointed out to him at some point.
Yeah.
It's Her Majesty's Parliament, right?
Yeah. You feel it would have come up.
Exactly. She does own the place. It's just like it's her swanning around as she's wont to do in a crown, going, Neil
questions. That's the real question that I've got. Is that, are there any others?
The other question we have is Peter Chapman.
I know.
He'd like to know, where did that Peter dude go? He was my favourite. To which Justin would like to know, is he referring to Peter Willington?
He was great, wasn't he?
Peter Willington's pretty great. George, I imagine you've got views on Willington.
I would say that Peter Willington is somewhere in my top 7 people in the world.
I would say that you and him share a voice.
Yeah. We share a voice and a body.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
That's it.
Peter, is that you?
Hey guys.
That's a really good Peter Willington impression.
It is. I use it So many nefarious deeds. Honestly, just every day I can find a new use for my Peter Willington voice. But no, he is genuinely a thoroughly lovely chap.
He is. He's a very nice man.
All good things come to those who know Peter Willington. Fact.
So the answer to that question is
science.
Science.
It's science. We do miss Peter
He equals MC Willington.
Yeah. So
if I had a Peter Willington laugh on my soundboard by now, I'd have.
But you could have arranged that easily yourself.
Yeah, but why should I have to when I can just ask you to, and then you should do it because I asked.
But yeah, so the answer to your question.
Sure, some would say that's the view of a spoiled brat, but
so the answer,
I want it. Where is it?
The answer to long-running former podcast co-host Pete Chapman's question is: we do miss Peter Willington, Peter.
Thanks for asking. Good question,
when
caller.
will we see him again?
On Twitter, and he told us to fuck us all.
Yeah, he did.
Which I said, there's no need. He can't. He doesn't have the right to get angry with us because he left us.
He is quite fickle like that, though.
He is.
That's the reason why he's only in my top 7.
Oh, no, not Willington. We meant Chapman.
Oh, that's Chapman. Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, no. Willington's fine.
Yeah, we're talking like top 60 now.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, goalposts. Someone has lifted the goalposts and run off with them, gaily laughing.
The wind blew away one of the jumpers we were using as a goalpost.
And now we're chasing after it sadly.
Right, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the podcast.
We love you really, Chappers.
If you'd like to get previous episode, he might appear soon, mystery. If you'd like to get previous...
Really, seeing as you just said he might appear soon.
He might not, we don't know.
But that's a given. Anyone may or may not appear.
That's very true. Pope might be on. Might not.
Pope and Queen.
Yeah, together, one episode. Mega episode. That's what we're doing for 200.
Do we mean the band or the money?
I tell you what, if the Pope is on the podcast, I quit.
All right.
I think you're probably all right with that.
Yeah, I feel that's a solid stance to take. I don't think
just I know the chances are slim, but just for future reference.
All right. Just gonna leave it hanging for a second.
Just leave it there. Or we just leave it on that silence.
I might just end the podcast. No,
you just put the exit music right there.
It's like dropping a microphone. Like a mic drop.
I'm
gonna quit.
That would be so good.
I'm gonna put the music there, and then I'm gonna fade it out again, and come back and do the actual ending. This has been episode 195. If you want to get other episodes of the podcast, you can go to Stitcher, YouTube, TheSixthAxis.com, iTunes, anywhere really. Just like walk up to people in the street and ask them.
It says anywhere, but not SoundCloud anymore.
Well, we couldn't afford it.
You couldn't afford it? You have to pay to be on SoundCloud?
You have to if you use more than like a certain amount of minutes.
Oh, I see.
And like because SoundCloud is meant to be for like short music tracks, not hour and a half long podcasts, we use them up quite quickly. I looked at it after our plan expired, and it was like, you are 35,000 minutes over your limit. I was like, oh, that seems like a lot. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can tweet us at TSA Podcast. You can email us at podcasts@thesixthAxis.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us personally, you can get me on Twitter as HalBPro. That's HALB Pro. You can get Kevin John 400. You can get Lewis as Lewis Gaston. You can get George as a George Osborn. Make sure you don't get the MP one.
Nah. It's basically find the one with the ugly face, and that's me.
Yeah. Accurate.
Ladies.
He's got glasses and that.
Yeah.
The other one.
I thought you were just like a little pixel man.
No, you're a little pixel man on Twitter. Yeah, that's true.
I'm just lying. I'm just lying for my own amusement.
Oh, it's trickery.
I'm sorry, guys.
Treachery.
And listeners. I'm very sorry.
I mean, that is a distinction. The chance really Checker is unlikely to have a pixel man.
Well, you never know. You could change it up.
Yeah, mix it up.
Change it up. Exactly. Now that Corbyn's in, he can do what the hell he wants.
Appeal to the youth.
Exactly. Youth. Hashtag. Youth.
Have you got anything you want to pimp, George, while you're on?
So, got a couple of Gamer Bakes coming up. Gamer Bake being the gaming... competition, meet-up, fun thing. Yeah. So we've got one on 1st of October in London, which is Destiny themed, which you have to have a ticket to an event for if you want to enter. So, yeah, probably can't help with that one. But we've got one in Manchester on the 9th of October, which you can come along to, and we still have some tickets available. So do that. And then just generally, I don't have a job at the moment, so hire me. And on that note, there you go.
Hi, George.
So Gamer Bake and then hire me.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I'll do anything.
Wow. Okay.
Same 5 things. Just give me a shout.
Right. On that note, we're going to have to leave it. Say goodbye, everybody.
Well, now you speak of it. I need an arsonist.
No.
We'll have a conversation.
Wrap it up.
Afterwards.
Brilliant.
Say goodbye.
Okay.
Say goodbye.
Bye bye.
So George, do you cater for
Bye.
Lewis,
killing
say goodbye.
homeless people?
Lewis,
maybe. Bye.
Lewis, say goodbye.
No, this is a genuine business transaction.
Please,
Lewis.
Be libelous.
Bye.
Goodbye.
The Sixth Axis podcast.